Khan, hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak Wadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as them and that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in on the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad. And as always, we got the beloved Elder Tazapah as well.
Yes, sir.
Khan and the Wadi Hal Bashim Shah, as always, for blessing us with another opportunity to be able to come forth, and provide this news, bring forth this information, which we will refer to it as prophecy, which is there's a lot of things happening. You got another virus, you got these data centers, you got the CBDC system still coming, which is in part with that them data centers. Everybody going digital IDs. But it's a lot happening. That's why we'll kind of jump around on a few topics. That's why I say it's Thursday Live, various end time topics. Now, it haven't been nothing major going on, like breaking news major these past couple weeks, but it have been things, to watch out for a lot. Some of them could be smoke and mirrors, like me and Advertiser Power just talking about this hantavirus, and we kind of said the same, that we don't think it's going to be another CV19 situation. Yes, it could be used to bring disruption to the economy. They could use it to, in any way, say a lot of people getting sick, but ultimately, this may be used to bring something else. Which we know other things gonna come, but this ain't gonna be the end all be all, the big event. This virus, there's gonna be many other things. Remember, we living in a time of polycrisis, as the CDC, or I think the World Economic Forum said that, which is a time of many crisis, man. Many different events taking place at once, and that's the beautiful part about prophecy, having the Holy Spirit to kind of guide us through all these things that's going on. But before we hop into it, Advertiser Pie, you got anything?
Yeah. You talking about polycrisis. Hang on just 1 second. All right. And this is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right? So it'll be a time like never before, because Esau gonna just throw everything, including the kitchen sink, as humanity. And it won't just be here in Babylon. It's gonna be global, and that's how Revelation 13 and 16 is gonna be fulfilled. But by him causing all, he's gonna cause all through polycrisis. This is say, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. Right? So we don't know everything that's, we ain't saying that the hantavirus is not gonna bust a grape. It might bust a grape, but there will be other things coming down the line. Just judging by the people's reaction, I don't think, they're just gonna go along willy-nilly with this one. You always gonna have a certain segment of the population that's, entranced. They gonna be in fear, but the majority of the people, they're not feeling this, and they already talking about, the the cruise story was fake with the cruise liner and all that. So who knows? Who knows? It don't have that same feel, I say that, but right, we in a time like never before, so it just can't be one thing. It could be, but it couldn't be the same thing. They got to come with something new, because this is a time like never before. We did this before. We did this 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So just through the spirit, it has to turn up. All right. So it could be that, but then it could be an EMP. You know, it could be a number of things. And then they got this whole UFO buzz out here. So who knows, what direction this could go. But you got it,
No, that's it. Even Bill Gates said the next one gonna be far worse than
exactly.
CV.
Yep.
So we still got that hantavirus deal going on, and also we got World War III events still happening as well, which is going to lead to actual World War III, but wars and rumors of wars. We'll read this article real quick. It's an end time headlines put out today. It says oil crisis could spiral into full-blown global catastrophe within 30 days. The Strait of Hormuz still doing what it's doing. Times getting harder, gas prices going up, and people already struggling. It says according to
that's another crisis. That's a serious crisis. You got it.
Yep, it says according to a report from Market Watch, escalating supply disruptions from the ongoing conflict involving the US, Israel, and Iran are rapidly draining global crude stockpiles, raising fears of severe energy shortages that could escalate into a full-blown catastrophe within weeks. And we'll touch on something in a few. But again, you got the oil prices going up. And remember, they saying that it's a severe energy shortage. And at the same time, you got these data centers, these huge data centers being built. And the last little energy these Americans have, the data centers taking it. They taking water, they taking energy, So really, and I thought of the scripture earlier, how it says, little by little, how the Lord we eventually, took down those Hamites out the land. It says little by little. It wasn't just all in one night. And that's what you're seeing happen to these American people is continual things to hurt your pockets. It's continual things that link up and add up that's going to make you suffer. Things ain't going to get better. And as you were saying, all these things will eventually merge together and link together. The war in Iran, it ain't just going to be the Strait of Hormuz only. That's going to escalate into something, which is going to lead into another prophecy, the digital system, which that's going to lead into people losing their minds and chaos ensuing. So all these prophecies are really tied together, and really they, as one happen, it escalates another into all of them on it. I'm going to get a precept real quick.
Yes, sir.
Second Ezra 4.
Exactly right.
And the best way I could put it, you create not the best way, but what came to mind, you create a play on Madden on a game. You got to start off putting his attributes up. You start first with speed, you put that one all the way to 99, and then you go to agility, and you put that one to 99, and then you go to running ability, you put that one to 99. The same thing the Lord do with prophecy. In 1 month, he might get a Civil War popped off and have somebody like George Floyd die, and then now you got Civil War, and then that's gonna die down, right? And then 2 months later, the Lord might have another disease come out, now sicknesses and pestilence, and that might die down. And then another event, World War III news, whatever, CBDC, all these things gonna happen and die down until they all to a point once they all at the height, is gonna happen all together. It's gonna happen all together, and that's Jacob's trouble. Real quick, it says, by measure, 2 Ezra 4:37, by measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times. He doeth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So that's what we're seeing, right? We ain't just go skip to the end. No, the Lord is building all these prophecies up so they could play out at the very time it's supposed to. And when one happened, the next one gonna happen, man. But that was it, Elder Tazapah.
Hey, brother, I got a request. I will smite Egypt with plagues as before.
Okay, I got you. The second Ezra 15.
It's in 15?
It's 15 and like 12. Yeah, 11. I'll read it for you.
All right.
The second Ezra 15, and I start at 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
Right, and of course, that's the Israelites. We are yet this day in our captivity in spiritual Egypt. All right, it's the modern day Egypt. You won't find us over in geographical Egypt, you'll find this here in spiritual Egypt, the whole house. Yeah, it could be some Israelites in Egypt, actual Egypt, but the whole house is in bondage here in spiritual Egypt, also known as Babylon, the virgin daughter, which is about to be unvirgined. But go ahead,
It says, verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof.
Yeah, the Most High hit ancient Egypt with polycrises. 10 of them to be exact, but it was polycrisis. They wasn't all at the same time, they was consecutive, but the effect was devastating to the point, you know, they had to let us go. But the Heavenly Father is gonna hit this place with several, you know, crises at the same time. All right, as the brother going into the oil, that's a economic crisis because the dollar is a petrodollar attached to the oil. All right. And so as you read, see, Esau don't want to, he gonna tell you the oil prices are going up, but he won't tell you why. The oil prices are going up, right? The stuff in Hormuz, right? But the price is going up because of the petrodollar. All right. It's attached to the price of oil is tied to this dying dollar. So everything attached to it is going up. If oil was priced in gold, the price would be stable. It wouldn't be going up. It may be going up due to demand because they closed the strait, and that does play into it, supply and demand, but it's rising exponentially because the death of the dollar. The dollar is dying. And Apostle Tahar just did a whole video about America being bankrupt. So of course, all prices, which is priced in dollars, is going to go up. That's why all these countries, they doing away with the dollar. They making agreements, not just a couple of countries, a handful of countries, this damn near globally. The dollar is dead. And Apostle Tahar gave the receipts as of March this year. The Department of Treasury officially came out and said that the U.S. is in the red. So you're going to see prices on everything go up, that's what they say, but it's actually the value of the dollar going down. So that's why it appears as the price of oil going up. No, it just take more dollars to buy the same amount of oil. You're paying more at the pump because the decrease in value of your dollar. Now it takes more of those dollars, which you used to get for $2 and $3. Now you're paying $5 and $6 for because your dollar lost value. And it's the same across the board. Anything priced in dollars, gold, oil, all that, it appears to be going up. What's actually happening is the value of your dollar going down. Now you need more dollars to purchase what you used to purchase for less. So you got it out.
That's it. I read it again. It says, but I will destroy them with the mighty hand and the stretched out arm, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Yep. And I'll go back to reading a little bit of this. It says, global oil stockpiles have so far buffered the impact of major production halts triggered by the war and the near total shutdown of shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point carrying roughly 1/5 of the world's seaborne crude. It says, let me see if we can get straight to the point. Right, it just goes into how prices climbed 50% since the conflict started.
So
it says
the dollar lost 50% of value, or close, somewhere around there. It may have been 30, 35, but that's a big hit. But go ahead.
No, that's it. That's it. It says global crude reserves are rapidly depleting, pushing the world towards scarcity. You see, so again, expect prices to shoot up even more, man. That other than what we have seen. Matter of fact, Trump said this. I'll play this real quick because they asked him, "Do you care about the American financial situation?" He pretty much said, "I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that." And then I seen another interview. He was talking.
He don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Let them be cake.
In another interview, they pretty much asked him, they was trying to go into the American financial situation and crude oil. And he said, look, and he literally said, look, I don't care about that. He said, when y'all go build my statue? I wish I would have had that one up.
And that ball,
like, when y'all go build my statue? But it says standing on the White House lawn before boarding a flight to Beijing to meet with Xi Jinping, Donald Trump told reporters that Americans' financial hardships is not even a little bit motivating his approach to the war with Iran. It says, I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. He said, I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Let me go ahead and play it. It's that cruel Lord.
Financial situation, I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. You cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing about it.
And really, they're going to what we was talking about. He held bent on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's not backing down from that. That's going to only escalate, but, you know, through the spirit of prophecy, of course. You know, he can't back out. This is the third woe. He the main character in the third, the U.S. You see, they got to be front and center. So yeah, ain't no backing out of this. It's going full steam ahead. But yeah, you got it out.
I'll play it one more time.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are American financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. You cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing about it.
So, you see, he focused. He laser focused on this third woe. That's the spirit. That's the Most High. He don't want to hear about your problems. They already told you before this, it's going to be short-term pain for the long-term gain. They know that means they don't care what you feeling, what you dealing with, what you going through. It's going to be some issues. You're going to have, they saying short-term, but it ain't going to stop. You see, it's going to be ongoing pain for their gain. But yeah, he telling the truth. Only thing on his mind is Iran, because he the man that's going to get Babylon totally annihilated. And that's Kal Halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. We can't take too much more of this shit. At least I can't. You know? But soldiers endure. You know what I'm saying? But how much longer can this shit go on? But yeah, that was it.
Come. And matter of fact, while we speaking of this, there's also something new. I'm gonna keep my eye on this as well to see what they do. But it says White House announces plan, and this is kind of various topics. You know, it says White House announces plan to identify and neutralize groups of Americans they deem terrorists. So this is the new thing. So the Trump and his regime, the American government, they gonna say who terrorists and who not. And it's the plans to start removing these people. So where you think the prophet's gonna fall at? You know, so we talking about all these things, but we can't even forget the famine of the word either. As Esau gonna begin to do all his wickedness and show he the devil, he want to take those who witnessing against him out the picture. So everybody else, the jury don't hear what the prophets gotta say. And he could just get away like on Scooby-Doo. It wasn't for these meddling prophets. You see? Before he really make his move, he want to shut everybody up that's been exposing him, man.
Definitely.
I read this little excerpt. It says, in addition to cartels and Islamic terrorist groups, comma, we already know they're going at them, what they call immigrants, cartels, and Islamists, right? But it says, and our national CT activities will also prioritize the rapid identification and neutralization of violent secular political groups whose ideology is anti-American, radically pro-trans, rainbow flag, and anarchists. Again, where you think we gonna fall at, man? So not only is they hurrying up this digital system, but they plan on imprisoning the people as well. Everything is happening. Everything is taking place. Matter of fact, I got one more.
Yeah, let's hear it.
And get into stuff about this data center. Real quick, this Judah chapter 9 and verse 5, just to show everything is ready. We ain't got to wait 20 years for the Lord to give Oppenheimer, the dream and put in his mind on how to make a bomb. Nope, they already made. Atoms already split. You see, he ain't got to put it on the creator of the C-Help to tell him how to put this electronics in this little device. And man, see, even that, the creator of the chip, I forget his name, Carl Saunders or something, but he said, and this was years ago, this was like in the 80s or 70s or something, he said, but he said that they wanted to put this C-HIP in people, but they realized the lithium battery in the C-HIP had to keep charged in order to work. And the only two places, and remember, he even said before or while he was creating the chip, he wasn't a believer in the Bible. He said he never read Revelation 13 ever. But this man said, in doing research, they realized in order for the chip to work, it had to keep a charge. The battery had to keep charging. Check it out. He said it was two places mainly in the body, two places that was hot enough to keep charged all day, every day. He said the forehead and the hand, the right hand mainly, but your hands. I mind you, this man ain't reading them, but just to show how the Lord, man, everything is working out according to the Lord's plan.
That's the Most High.
Like spot on. So the point I was making with that, we don't have to wait on the Lord to put it in the mind of the creator of the MOTB to make it. No, the man already made it. Everything is ready. America already over there in what they call the Middle East. How the scripture said they was gonna go over there. What's the scripture say? I'm trying to think about it. The utmost sea. The utmost sea. We ain't got to get it, but the scripture said America will be moved in the middle of the utmost sea in the East Sea, roughly paraphrasing, but to the Arabian desert. We see that happening. The point is, man, Zaquan, what else we waiting on? Literally nothing. Nothing. I read this real quick. This Jude 9 and 5, it says, for thou, talking about the Heavenly Father, for thou hast wrought not only those things, but also the things which fell out before and which ensued after. Thou hast thought upon the things which are now and which are to come. Pretty much saying that Heavenly Father got everything planned out since the world began until now and even in the future. Now check this out. It says, yeah, what things? And what's the things again? The things to come, which are prophecies. It says, yeah, what things, the prophecies, right? Thou didst determine were ready at hand. All the prophecies are ready. And look, the prophecies got something to say too. And what's funny in Habakkuk 2, it says at the end of the show, speak and not lie, right? Let's see what the prophecies got to say. It says, yeah, what things thou didst determine were ready at hand and said, lo, we are here. So the prophecies telling you they here. They here and they ready and we seeing them, man. We just need an event or one or two events to kickstart everything. And this is going to be like a domino effect. It says, for all thy ways are prepared and thy judgments are in thy foreknowledge. You got to advertise it, Pop?
Oh, yeah, come on, brother. This Joel chapter 2 and 20. It says, but I will remove far off from you the northern army and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things. You want to go into it?
No, I mean, yeah, yeah, but that's pretty much the Lord. And look, it's prophecy that the American military would eventually expand, all the way over there to what they call the East for a war, and that was going to be the very place that they was going to be destroyed. But when you go into it, it says the EC.
Right. Yep. It says, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea.
And if I'm not mistaken, the utmost sea is
that's the Red Sea.
The Red Sea. The East Sea is.
That's
I'm trying to look at a map so I can get it.
Not dog it. Mediterranean Sea. No,
that's you got the because it's Saudi Arabia right there in the midst. Let me go to my map real quick. I can tell you.
Hold on, I got it.
Because it go be in the desert of Arabia.
The Red Sea. I don't know.
Now hold on, I got you. It's the Persian Gulf.
That's it.
The Persian Gulf is the EC, and then the Red Sea is the one behind them.
The hindermost, right?
The hindermost. Yep, the hindermost. So if you, matter of fact, I'm gonna go to a world map so everybody else can see it too. But this just to show, look, prophecy is happening. Because the scriptures say, I don't know why my thing been showing small like this, man. But the scriptures say, the Lord was gonna move these people over there. All right, here we go. Man, I hate when it works small. I mean, works slow, man. Anyway, I'm gonna go to just a regular picture map. I was trying to go to a map. Let me see, world map. But check this out.
Yep.
So this the world map, and this is what the Lord was talking about. He was gonna move that army, American army. I don't know why my stuff been showing like small lately. I don't even know how to change it. Come on, man. This should be a good one.
Howard died right. Also, it could be the Persian Gulf, the same as the Euphrates. It could be either or. What is the same? So you got the Red Sea, then you got the Persian Gulf or the River Euphrates. They're gonna be right in there in the Middle East. And shalom to the brother Yahweh. He hit me up on the comment board earlier, said he was gonna tune in. Shalom, and shalom to all you Akyam. Yeah, brothers getting into these prophecies, man, because this is the testimony of Yahweh Shai, man. You got to get into it. Let it get into you. Yeah, brothers getting into these prophecies. You got it out, what you looking for?
Yeah, I got it, but I don't know why they ain't let me blow it up more. But if you can see it right here, this the Persian Gulf over here. That's where you got the Strait of Hormuz at, and that's the EC, and then you got that the Red Sea right here, the hindermost. So which mean American army, they go move over here in the Middle East, the Arabian Peninsula, the Arabian Desert, like the scripture said, and now we seeing it happening, man. And that's why we can move and speak with so much confidence, because we know these things to be true, and it gotta happen according to what the Lord said. So, but that was it on that.
Yeah, that's calm, brother. That's your part. Lately, man, they won't give you no good maps.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll bring this one out real quick. What'd you say?
Yeah, I don't know either, man. I don't know.
Yeah, Esau maps, they are they ain't really accurate anyway. You got America's, huge. We ain't. I know we ain't got like the accurate maps like that anyway. Esau always what's the word I'm looking for? It slipped my mind. But the everything is false. Everything is false with the so-called white man. I read this one real quick though. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, the so-called white man, it's come down unto you having great wrath. It says, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. And that's it. And that's why we're about to see him move the way he do. But we'll play this video real quick. At a time, you had anything before we play it?
Oh, you good, brother.
Kinda. It's a quick little video. This came out 9 hours ago. And the title is AI Data Centers in a New World Order. And just going into real quick, what these data centers gonna be used for? And a lot of people really stupid and think, oh, just to serve a place to save my cloud, my iCloud info, and baby pictures and social media info and government. Man, no, it's it's to lock all y'all people into the grid system. The digital system, that's what this is a part of. The digital system need a heart to work. This is the heart of it. These data centers is going to be the thing to allow the digital economy and Esau mind to work, along with what people already having the nanotech and the juice in them. Then you got the system around them set up. Only thing left is the MOTB to be put in the people's hands.
That's it.
Can I go ahead and play this? So this from the page Reese Report, AI data centers in a New World Order.
The AI data centers in America have already become hugely unpopular. The noise pollution from their cooling systems reach up to 100 decibels and run nonstop. They are drawing down aquifers in areas that are already in short supply, turning the water brown and tainting it with a disinfectant smell. And there is no benefit to the local community. A U.S. Chamber of Commerce report found that each data center provides about 157 jobs. Because of all this, developers have been using non-disclosure agreements with local officials, and projects are announced only weeks before voting for approval. There are now nearly 200 active opposition groups across the United States, and it's growing fast. The official story is that the U.S. needs to stay competitive to beat China in an artificial intelligence arms race. But that story does not add up. The United States has already built over 4,000 data centers. China ranks at number 4 with 368. What they appear to be is the infrastructure for a new financial system, one that includes mass surveillance and autonomous weapon systems to protect it. The U.S. dollar system is quickly collapsing, which would devastate the entire world economy. The only solution being played out is the AI agentic economy, which requires a massive amount of computing power.
See, it's the only thing that in Esau mind that would allow this system to continue, it have to go digital. And they just said it's going to require a lot of computing power. This is the heart of the system. These centers, man.
This new AI agentic system will be run by
man, because like on the fish finder I got, right? So it's 3 parts of the fish finder I got. And this is what I was thinking about earlier with these data centers. So on the fish finder, I got the screen. And then I got the transducer, which that's what go in the water to show me. So the transducer go in the water, and what the transducer see under the water, that's what it's showing on the screen. The thing is, in order for both of those to work, I had to connect them to a black box that go inside the boat. The black box, you don't touch it at all, but you always touch the transducer every day and the screen. You never touch the black box, but even the Garmin, they said that black box is the heart of the whole system. So it seemed like it's just a building or a box or a data center, but this is what's going to link everything to make it work, man. The people with the society, tracking, tracing, your history, healthcare, financial, everything, your social credit score. Oh, that's another thing. Where is that? Man, I had an article. Hold on. I got to get it. Let me see. I had an article. Man, I thought I had it up. It was saying, damn, where is that? It was going into how America, was it Natural News? And how America gonna start having damn, man, I thought I had it up. But it was going into how Americans, when they start to go in stores, you eventually your price of the goods go vary depending on your social credit score. Man, I thought I had it up. Salaki. I know I seen that article. So you got anything else to talk about? I kind of want to find this real quick. If not, I'll play the. Okay, cool. I finished playing this video real quick.
Autonomous software entities that can own wallets, earn and spend money, create contracts, and transact with each other without human intermediaries. This addresses the debt problem by growing the economy faster than the debt accumulates. Like the petrodollar, it extends US dollar hegemony without fixing its core issue, the debt. The Bank for International Settlements is the bank for central banks. It is immune from any national law, and its employees have diplomatic immunity. It answers to no government on earth, and every central bank is a member. BRICS only appears to be in opposition to Western banking. It is not. BRICS is aligned with the rest of the world in adopting this new AI digital banking system. But a growing number of analysts agree that this is a temporary fix. After about 10 years, the consumption of resources, the displacement of human workers, and the massive transfer of wealth to the few who own these AI agents makes a fundamental restructuring unavoidable. And yet, the entire world is going along with this plan. The question is, why? As we covered in last week's video, the New World Order, the emerging unipolar world is preparing for a major geological event that is expected to be catastrophic for the United States and beneficial to Russia. In the United States, data centers are being built inland and on elevated land, away from the coastlines. This is where all vital U.S. infrastructure is being moved, and is where billionaires are buying up acres by the millions. China is building their data centers inland and high above sea level, over 1,200 kilometers from their main user bases, who have been complaining about latency and security. China has also built ready-to-occupy ghost cities at high elevation, deep inland, and on geologically stable platforms. And they are now using economic incentives to move its population into these cities.
Man, I'm looking for this article because they said with these data centers, they can use economic incentives. Man, there's an article I was looking at earlier. I thought I had it.
Con, I had seen something about that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, I thought I had it. So what it was going into, if I don't find it, I just put it in the description box after. But it was saying how America is planning on, man, I'm kind of upset I can't find it, but how they planning on using social credit score when you go buy stuff. And when you go to get goods at the store, each person price go be dictated off your social credit score. What you saying on social media, how you act in public, your views on America, if you anti-American, all these, man, I want to find it. All these things can go into your prices going up. Again, incentives. So if you do good, then you gonna get blessed for that by the white man, by the government. But that's a system we come in. He cause of all. And I don't think I'm gonna find it. I don't know which one it is. It came out today. I know it's new news. But anyway, you had anything else to talk about on that video? If not, I continue.
Oh man, there's a lot of meat in there, man. A lot of
Wait, let's go for it.
So this
And away
is
from the coast. Russia.
You got it.
No, it was just interesting how he said it's going to turn out bad for America, but good for Russia. You know, and that lined up with prophecy. But it's interesting that he said all of these data centers that America have way more than China, but he believes it's for to continue U.S. hegemony, economic hegemony, actually, to be number one in the economy. And so that's why America has all these data centers to run the economy that's coming, which that lines up with the mark of the beast. And Apostle Kahar called it years ago when he brought out, you know, the blockchain is about the mark. Well, that's what it is. They getting ready to take the blockchain online. You know, when they bring out these, what the MOTB, everybody will be on the blockchain. But that was it.
Yeah, I'm a little upset, man. I want to find that article. that I seen earlier going into America coming with incentives and punishments on how the people go act through this digital system. But I'll go ahead and play these couple little videos just to kind of highlight, these data centers, because again, it's taking a lot of water from cities. It's taking energy, impacting the grid even more. And now you got these people who stay around these data centers. They being bugged out with noise all day. I heard a lot of people getting headaches from being around it. They're getting sick. So who knows what these data centers, the energy or emissions, they really putting off. So
Right.
let me see. Go ahead and put this back. Man, I want to find the other stuff.
I'll bring this out right quick.
Now you got it.
Yeah, brother Yahweh that one, he posted James 5, verse 1. Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Right. So this is basically, well, James getting on the rich. All right. Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come. And Apostle Hard did a video, I believe it was yesterday, titled, something about Esau going into slavery, just getting ready to go into slavery. The Edomites were the rich. They, you got the elite, but then you had the middle class Edomites here in America was living the good life. But overall, it's talking about the elite, the ones that's calling the shots. Because it said your riches are corrupted, right? Because he's gained everything that he has through theft, murder and theft, and just bogart. Well, which is that theft. Esau just Debo. He Deboing stuff right now. He just go in and claim stuff. But that's what they doing in Lahaina. And what they did in with North Carolina. Over in was that in the Palisades. They destroyed, and then, well, it's mine now. I destroyed it fair and square. It's mine. But this is why or how his riches are corrupted. He's stolen and killed for everything. And it says his garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered. The rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days, all right? And that treasure is actually for the children of Israel, all right? But yes, his gold and silver being cankered is because it's ill-gotten goods, ill-gotten gains. Gold and silver don't corrupt, canker, rust, but it's talking about the methods at which he obtained it. So now they're a witness against him. Well, how you got all that gold? Where all this gold come from? So now it's a witness against him. No, motherfucker, you stole that gold. And a lot of it is still minted. They got coins going back to King David. And before that, they got gold coins going back to Rome, Greece, and that Vatican, I'm sure. But all that's a witness against him now. Who gave you that? How'd you obtain it? He can't tell you he got it fair and square. No, you a thief. Like Pretty Tony told Goldie, you ain't nothing but a car thief. But he's a world thief. Esau is a nationality thief. He's a heritage, a home thief. They tell you about that in Micah 2:1. But you got it out. That was the point. That this devil, his his economy is tanking because it's all corrupt. And he's sitting on the real substance and won't distribute it amongst humanity. Let people fend for themselves, care for themselves. No, he want to rule over everybody. I'm God. You got to obey me. He won't let you grow food. Won't let you get rainwater, even though you don't want that rainwater. You don't want that rainwater. Trust me. But you should be able to get it if you want to. But yeah, that was it.
I found this article I was talking about. End Time Headlines put out today. It says grocery stores are ready to implement surveillance pricing for customers. It says grocery chains begin implementing surveillance pricing for customers. Major grocery chains are using in-store cameras, which they already do this, but now they're taking it to that level. It says are using in-store cameras, AI, and shopper data. This is where the data centers come in at. And shopper data to personalize prices in real time, charging more to some customers based on how they look, what they buy, and how they shop. It says cameras and AI analyze age, gender, mood, and shopping habits. It says profiling you, your behavior and data build a profile that determines your prices. It says charging more, prices change on digital shelves and displays just for you. And that's it, man. I'm reading a little bit. It says, according to the report and it's in America, not in somewhere like the EU. These things are happening in America as well. It says, according to the report from the New York Times, grocery stores in New York City, and New York always the first one to pop it off in America. It says grocery stores in New York City could face new restrictions on using shoppers' personal data to charge individualized prices for everyday items like bananas or milk. The practice, known as surveillance pricing, allows retailers to adjust costs based on data such as shopping history, location, or online behavior, potentially resulting in one customer paying significantly more than another for the identical product. And again, that's the thing. That's why these data centers they want a whole account on every single person. Every single person. It ain't just gonna be used for military AI and government AI and no, it's gonna be used for every single person, man, everywhere you go.
And everything you do.
And everything you do. That's it.
That old song, every move you make, every step you take, they'll be watching you. They'll be watching everything, recording it, and it's sent up to the cloud. They can pull it up anytime they get ready. They already got our conversations. All the shit you did on social media, they got it. And so, yeah, they need more memory now because your whole life is about to be recorded, not just your conversations on your own line, anastrophe or conversation, but everything you do on or offline. So they need all this space. They need cyberspace, But yeah, brother, go ahead.
Done. That's it. As it says, with food prices already straining household budgets in high-cost areas like New York, city officials are pushing urgent legislation. See, urgent, he got a short time. Legislation to curb the tactic. On Thursday, City Council Speaker Julie Menin and Councilman Sean Abreu from Northern Manhattan are set to introduce separate bills targeting these dynamic pricing strategies. And it goes on, but the point is these things are happening, man. live in time as we speak. You know, I play a couple quick clips real quick just to show what people been going through with this, data center stuff. We can wind it down. Here you go.
So this is comparable.
Okay, I like play this. Go forward.
So this is comparable
Okay, I like
to
this because
the
I hear her
data
sound.
center that is going to be built over in the Bertram chain of lakes. The guy from Skinnell Properties told me to come and check out this data center.
Wow, that's bad.
Oh,
Vinny.
Pat,
I'm hoping that my phone is capturing that noise.
It is.
oh my, yeah,
It is
nuts.
actually significantly
That's what the sound
loud.
that happens in my ears when I sleep. Bro, imagine working inside. Like, imagine in there.
Okay, it didn't get any better. Play this. Go forward.
All right, play one more. These the effects people who living around this stuff have. And everybody water around there too. They water dirty. You got all kind of sediment and contamination in it.
Yep.
And you got a ball of water because the data center taking everybody water. And it's in Texas.
Water.
It's in Texas, yeah.
Sitio en donde ellos le hicieron brainwash. Ustedes son hispanos. He's like for us in the next 5 years.
Come on, man. Nonsense.
Was she making coffee?
Yeah, it looked like it.
At 4
Hi, Charlie.
million a day. Now, I think it's really important when we say that
Check this out.
it is not a facility that is going to take 4 million gallons of water each and every day. We have other customers that everybody knows that are in the community, from wholesale customers to hospitals and other large infrastructure that uses a lot of water every day. When a data center is asking us about the availability of water a day, they're talking about water on the hottest day, not a year-round average. So the maximum demand is from each system right now is 4 million gallons.
So what the man said is these data centers use in Arkansas, Central Arkansas, just one place, 4 million gallons of water a day. Per day. You look at Corpus Christi right now, part of their beaches draining, and they right there by the water. Through.
Yep. Yep. And that will create a crisis. Along with the fertilizer situation, I believe the number was 147,000 farms that are being shut down just in the U.S. And yeah, that's a crisis. So you're gonna see famine. And here in Texas, man, the summers, hey, people use a lot of water. But I guess they won't be this summer. People like to go to the pool or whatever. How is all this going to affect everyday life? Because that's a massive amount of water, and I don't even know, because it was off at the district. I can't tell how big it was, because they plan on building a massive one in North Texas, so it might need 10 million.
Yep.
It's right. This is going to create more crisis. But yeah, brother. To go along with that dude, the Maverick something is his YouTube handle, and he did the little thing on the 15-minute city showing you how they sneaking it in.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was in Dallas. So he was in Dallas this past weekend, and he might have been in Dallas when he made that video. But brothers have done a video on that. Just look for GMS 15-minute cities. But right, he was showing you a 15-minute city, and That's another reason why they need these massive amounts of data centers. All right. It's going to run the economy. It's going to run well, you brought it out. What you purchase, how you purchase it, where you could purchase it at. You know, everything will be dictated unto you. You know, and they bringing in these 15-minute cities right under people's noses, you know, constructing this digital penitentiary, and nobody seems to care. You know, but yeah, it's being done right under the noses of the people, brother. You got it.
That's it. And we'll wind it down a little bit. We'll hit it off on this last one. But again, even the EU, King Charles, this was put out yesterday. King Charles announces British government is rolling out Bill Gates digital ID. Let's get it from his mouth.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
That's it. One more time.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Right. It goes depend on how people interact with public services, man. Life about to change for everybody everywhere. We at that point, man. And he wasn't just talking about it. EU declares, so they did it. He wasn't just talking, they did it, right? The devil know you got a short time. He ain't got time to talk no more. It says EU declares non-compliant citizens who reject the Bill Gates digital ID will be banned from the internet. See? And you know, when you go in the store, they got the little printed out paper that said, if you see this person, he can't come up here because he stole, right? Or, you know, if you see this, no, that's what the data center's for. When you walk in, it's going to alert them. That's what the data center's for. All your information, what you do in life, they trying to have that on that. That's their cloud. That's their cloud in a sense. The cloud on earth. That's their cloud, man, to keep all information on everybody, man. So Esau can feel like a god. These are one of the mechanisms that's going to be used. Other than so, see, when he gave the people the juice, and you got it on top of Papa, when he gave the people the juice, as you always said, that was to go in them to prep people's body for the digital microchip. Right now, before the chip could go in people's bodies, one, their body's ready because the juice prep themselves. Right now, he kind of put a pause with that, with CV19 juicing people up, and then now he started these past years after that. He been working on the infrastructure actually in the cities. Like he been breaking down cities, building them up, new AI infrastructure every day. Now the data centers here, and the data centers gonna be the thing to link what's in your body to how you move and get by society, tracking and tracing you. The last step will be that MOTB to connect everything, man. And the Apostle Tahar been saying so everybody could be a part of the Internet of Things, man. That was it, Elder Taza Pop.
And it just hit me because you know, they speaking about this 6G. That could be why they pushing this Hampton. If they switch over to 6G, it's gonna have an effect just like 5G did. You know, because these not just little jumps, you know, over 5, 6, 7. No, it's like massive in the frequency, massive jumps in frequency between just like 4 to 5G. I forget the numbers, but it was a massive frequency jump. And it's gonna be the same with 6G. But right, talks have been buzzing around about 6G coming out, and maybe the Hampton is to you know, to get ahead of it when they put this out, because 6G, which is the next generation, might be needed for the MOTB. You know, and with this the massive amounts of data that they want to transfer, they might need the 6. But you know, we'll see how it plays out. They just said Japan broke a record for the most information sent in the fastest amount of time, and it was like I forget, but they said 1 million gigabytes, over 1 million gigabytes. I don't even know how much that is, because a giga is like a billion bytes. So that's 1 million billion bytes, over that, more than that, in 1 second. So they might need more G's.
Right.
But that would fit the bill for the MOTB and everything that they're trying to do. This coming out of Japan. And even the guy said it, Reese, they are working on the global, AI infrastructure. They are working on it. So they all in cahoots. That's why Revelation 13 and 16 says he calls it all. Everybody's on board. China's on board. Japan is on board. Everybody in Europe is on board. Even Putin in Russia is on board. Iran is on board. The UAE, United Arab Emirates, they on board. Venezuela's on board. Everybody, who that Chile, NAFTA, Argentina, they on board. They all on board, and so yeah, they they probably be increasing the frequencies, and it's probably make people sick. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. But that was it. That's all I had.
Kind of like, why? You could take us out if you want.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Hey, ain't nobody. Let's see. Yep. All right. Well, shit. With that being said, the water to you brothers and you sisters for tuning in. We pray that you all were edified. We're going to give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh. That's right. Shalom and peace and blessings to the, double honors, peace and blessings to the apostles of Great Millstone, the bishops as well, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Y'all stay up, keep pushing, man. We love y'all. And to the next one, shalom.
Shalom.